I was diagnosed with something called fibroadenomas. Fibroadenomas are benign, meaning non-cancerous, but they are tumors that exist inside the breast. So I was diagnosed with fibroadenomas, and it was a very grueling process to get to the point where we could diagnose them as fibroadenomas. Brief recap, I felt a lump. I went to my gyno. The gyno sent me to a place that did ultrasounds. I made a mistake of going to a place that was not really associated with a hospital, and it was kind of like a quack type of place, and ultrasounds are very user sensitive, so the imaging came out more concerning than it actually was. And so I was recommended for a biopsy, and I became a patient at the Miami Cancer Institute. The biopsy thankfully showed that what I had was benign, and when the new imaging was pulled up at the Miami Cancer Institute, it showed a much nicer looking image than the image that had been done originally at the original diagnostic place. And if I had just started at a normal diagnostic place associated with a hospital, I perhaps could have skipped the step of being recommended for biopsy. But because of the biopsy, we sort of know 100%, what I'm dealing with, what its pathology is, and all that. So I have been diagnosed with fibroadenomas. I currently have two. One is microscopic, and the other pretty much microscopic. It has dimensions, but very, very small. And the other one is pretty small too. And they are just kind of chilling. They're right next to each other. And so I opted for to keep my fibroadenomas. It was kind of my choice. They are benign. Usually they will kind of like push surgeons to remove it, because with anything that is a growth or a tumor, they can grow. And so because they can grow, I had been going for like every 6 months or so. I was going later than that, to make sure that the lesions were stable, and meaning that they weren't growing or growing rapidly. And so thankfully my imaging has shown that they are just kind of chilling. They are stable. They're not really growing, but because they can grow, I will go to for repeat imaging, probably once a year. I mean, women who are a little bit older than me are recommended to go yearly anyhow. And I'm just kind of like getting a little bit of a head start. The experience of going, I was always kind of like, I always had like, I think, problems with anxiety, and like, I guess you would joke the word hypochondria, but seriously, I always kind of like was always that person, like if I had a headache, I'm like, oh my God, what do I have? And in this case, I technically had something. And I am dealing with, I would say, a lot of anxiety in kind of just like my health anxiety is a lot worse lately. And I just like, I worry about myself a lot, that like, oh, if I feel something or this or that, or even something that's unrelated to the fibroadenomas, like could this end up being something? And I have to kind of just like stop and try to remind myself that I'm okay. I'm pretty sure it was Jay Leno when he had his accident. He was worrying a lot about like his appearance and what he was going to look like after like going through like recovery. And they asked him, one of the reporters, they were like, well, how did you know you were going to be okay? And I think his answer was something along the line of, I have to trust the people who are the best at what they do. And that's what I tell myself regarding my own health. I have been told by an entire team that deals with cancer, an entire team, that I am fine. Not one person, but an entire team that has examined me, looked at my pathology, looked at my imaging, and everything shows that I am fine, which I'm very grateful for. It's just that I'm very freaked out. I'm very, very freaked out. It's really, the experience has changed me. There always will be nerves going for the yearly checkup, but for most women it's unsettling. That's probably why most women don't want to go for mammograms or ultrasounds, and they put it off because they're always worried that you can see something. In my case, we kind of, because I have a history of fibroadenomas now, we kind of know that you know, what we're dealing with and what they look like with me, and that I'm prone to them. So that's helpful to know. And it's helpful also for me to know that I have them, you know, as I go into an older age, because they are associated with younger women. So, you know, you don't want to have it like where you're in your 40s or something like that, and then you know, you realize you could have an undiagnosed fibroadenoma. But yeah, I'm just very like weirded out from what I went through. It has its pros and cons. On the con side, it's made me like have a lot of health anxiety, and I have to kind of just like force myself to stop with that and be as distracted as possible, because it's not, you know, stress can give you things. And the pros are, it's making me, as corny as it sounds, enjoy life more, like enjoy every day more, enjoy funny moments more, and I'm just trying to take it as a lesson. If anyone has any questions on, you know, maybe you're going through a biopsy or fibroadenoma, I can, you know, I have videos up on this channel where I talked about it in detail about like the biopsy and what to expect and all that and stuff like that. But, you know, you could always like write me a comment and I'll try my best to answer if you have any questions about like going through that procedure or what that was like or how long it took to find out the results. I know that time period for me was, I remember I read an article and it said something like the waiting period of those days or a week in waiting will be like nothing you've ever experienced. And it was very bad, the waiting. Yeah, that's why YouTube has helped me so much in such a corny way. It's allowed for me to kind of distract myself. You know, when I make a video and then I go upstairs and I edit the video, and you know, assuming it's other content, you know, Disney content or whatever, I'm distracting myself, and it's a way for me to kind of like deal with my stress and put my mind towards something else other than worrying about myself. So yeah, I want to do, you know, I've niched down and I do a lot of Disney and Universal content on this channel, but I also talk about other things on this channel too. So this is just one of those videos, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope that this video helps someone out there who maybe is going through something like this. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video, and bye!